I'm Lisa, and I'm the mom half of this duo.
And I'm Shada. I'm Lisa's daughter. And welcome to Two Peas in a Plot, our little corner of the internet where we talk all things books.
We read across genres and love everything from underrated gems to longtime favorites.
And just a quick heads up while we try to avoid spoilers, we do talk about what we liked or didn't. So there might be a few light spoilers along the way just to give you some context.
So if you love stories and want to grow your TBR, hit that subscribe button and join the plot. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Today's book is The Village Library Demon Hunting Society by C.M. Waggoner. I think this was published, or the edition I have is 2024. This is a cozy mystery, very different than what I read, and it was just different. And it was actually lovely by the end. I really enjoyed the mystery and how they completed the story. But I'm going to read you just a description about the book because I don't think I could explain it well. The Village Library Demon Hunting Society is a witty and cozy fantasy mystery that follows Sherry Pinkwhistle, which I just love that name, a clever librarian in the tiny upstate New York village of Winesap, who has an unusual talent for stumbling onto and solving murder after murder. But when someone close to her is killed and her beloved cat, Lord Thomas Crowell, becomes possessed by what seems to be an ancient demon, Sherry begins to suspect that something supernatural is behind the unusually high body count in her quaint town. With the help of the new parish priest, a quirky group of friends who jokingly call themselves the Demon Hunting Society, she must uncover the truth, exorcise the demonic forces at work, and prove once and for all you should never underestimate a librarian. It just it's just really cute. Really cute.
What did you say her last name was? It was really, really cute.
Pink Whistle.
Pink Whistle. That's
Yeah. Isn't
adorable.
that adorable?
It's very
That's
Harry Potter to me, like very
yeah.
British. I know you said it takes place in upstate New York, but it sounds very British to me, that
And she
name.
and the little village that she lives in is super cute. And I think it's during snowy weather. She checks on her neighbor and she checks on a couple of people before she goes to the library to work. And she doesn't have a car. So she walks around everywhere. I tend to have a hard time getting into books that I'm not used to, but I'm so glad I don't think I've DNF'd a book in years if I have, because I always feel like I need to finish it because the author took so much time to write it. I feel I need to.
That is so generous of you as a reader. I mean, I'm a writer and I feel like if you're not enjoying my books, just stop reading them. You don't have to read them. Like I remember one of my graduate um cohort classmates telling us like she was like, "Yeah, no," because we had the same kind of like I feel like I have to read it. Not as a generosity to the author, but more of as like, well, I started this, I gotta finish it. And I remember her just very calmly saying, "Well, life's too short to read books that you don't like." And I was like, "Oh, that's that was kind of a revelation for me." But I am also glad because I know when you first started it, you were like, "I don't know if I like this."
Yeah.
So I'm glad you stuck with it for that.
The
But
ending
also
was
give yourself permission to
true.
stop reading books if you're not enjoying them, I
I
think.
think also too, I'm particular where I won't even pick it up if I think I may not finish it.
Yeah.
So I wanted to pick this up. So therefore I had to finish it. Yeah, I started out, I liked it. And then when the I guess the demon takes place, I wasn't sure because it was just like kind of a shock to the system, or at least to my system. But then it was, and that's as mild as it got. That's all I can explain. But it was really, really cute. Once the priest started helping her out and they would sprinkle holy water on people and stop what would be occurring. I enjoyed it. Based on the title, The Village Library Demon Hunting Society, what kind of story do you imagine this is?
So immediately with you've got some keywords in there, society, village, demon hunting. So I think it's going to be a paranormal cozy.
Oh,
Like,
okay. Yeah.
yeah. But I also recognize that's a very, very uh specific and probably newer niche. So I don't know if you'd have told me years ago, like, what do you think this title, what does this suggest to you?
Yeah.
I would have been like, I don't know. But
Well, I didn't know either, but and it's not giving anything away. You had recommended the book because you had it in your possession, and I thought, yeah, it sounds really cute because I read the back of it and that name, Sherry Pinkwhistle.
yeah, it's
Loved it.
adorable.
It's just like, oh, that sounds like a cozy. But the demon hunting threw me. And I don't know if it's, focuses so much on the demon hunting. It just has a supernatural thing that happens in her village and for a reason. And you find out later, it all comes together at the end. So, do you think a cozy village is the right setting for something supernatural? And why or why not?
I think so. And I'm gonna also bring an element of like with pure horror. I think it also works really well. Like I think all of Stephen King's books are in like upstate Maine and in small towns. And I think there's obviously this is not like a traditional horror novel, sounds like. It's more like just cute and something paranormal is happening and she has to figure it out. But I think when you have a relatively closed, intimate space, like you can't ignore it like you could if it's taking place in this sprawling city. I feel like that would be more of like a paranormal crime investigation,
Yeah.
like a squad, and that people don't notice it happening in like a big city. So I think a small city with a small cast of characters that you really enjoy, I think it's perfect setting.
Well, it was perfect, I think. That's a funny question for you. And I guess we couldn't think of it as a cat, but maybe a dog. How would you react if the family cat or dog started acting like it might be possessed? Call a vet, call a priest, or pretend nothing is happening?
Ellie already acts like she's possessed, so I it's just business as usual. Yeah, I don't, well, if she started talking to me, I think I
Mm,
would have myself evaluated first and then
then
like,
her.
rule that out. But
Yeah. Oh, that would be fun if she could talk to us because
I
sometimes
know.
I want to ask her questions. Anyway, she's funny. She's a love. Do you prefer books where the supernatural is clearly real or where you're not sure if it's real or imagined?
Well, I think it depends on the novel because to me, when the supernatural is very really is is real or very clearly real, I guess that's what I was trying to say. I feel like it cuts out an element of what is really happening. Like if you know it's real, it's like a problem that you have to solve, and it may still be spooky and have all these twists and turns. But I feel like if you don't know if it's real, to me, that's more of a psychological thriller or like a
Ah,
speculative horror, like a more introspective type of story.
that's a good
So,
explanation.
and I don't, was the question which one you prefer?
Yeah,
Because
but I think
yeah,
you helped me answer the difference between the two
yeah.
more.
I feel like it depends on the story. I usually prefer full out horror. Like I love zombie movies and zombie books, and I don't know, that's not really paranormal, uh, but I like when there is clearly something happening that isn't like, it isn't just all in the person's head.
Yeah,
I think because and we've talked about this in other like mystery novels where I I usually really do not like a twist ending. Like
yeah.
and and I think when you don't know if something is truly paranormal or not, you got to do it really, really well, or I will be upset by the end of the novel because you did some sort of twist and I don't think it worked very well.
Yeah,
Like there was a mystery book that I read. I think it was an Amazon free title. It was one of those featured titles. I don't know if you get those emails. I always forget. I'll get these emails that are like, "Oh, pick your two free Amazon first reads." I don't remember. I don't know what the program is called, but if you're a member of Prime, you get access to these like big books. And I think it's usually like Amazon imprints because I know they have their own publishing arm also. But there was this one that sounded really, really good, and it was a mystery novel, and I was so angry. I felt like my time had been completely wasted because the main character, all of the things that they go through, I'm going to try to keep this vague so I don't ruin it for anyone else, but all of the things that they go through by the end was just a figment of their imagination. They were having a psychotic break and the whole town knew and was just kind of like, okay, yeah, do this. Okay. Like they were just playing along with this character. And
No.
I was so angry. I was like, no, never again. And that's a really extreme example, but I think, yeah, you really run the risk of disappointing your reader unless you have a really good or the paranormal bits are left intentionally ambiguous and you don't know, like, was it real or was it, as long as they're not a twist, I think
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Well, good. Yeah, I can see what you mean about the twists. I think that's why I don't like psychological thrillers too much. I mean, I've been lucky on the ones that I've read, but I don't choose to read them because I'm not sure that they're going to end the way these previous ones that I read. But I
Yeah.
get what you're saying.
Yeah, that's me. I've been burned too many times by twists that I'm not happy with. So, and it's not that like you can have a twist, but you got to do it really well.
And it might appeal to other people, it just doesn't appeal to me. It's just frustrating when I get to the end.
I will say Conclave has kind of a twist ending. It's not really a twist, but it's surprising enough and it's in like the last few pages where I was like, "Oh, but it's not so much a twist as it is like
Like a surprise?
it is
No?
a surprise, but you can kind of they've gone through this whole thing, this whole conclave experience, and there was a lot of drama and a lot of not backstabbing, but there was a lot to it. And then they finally feel like God has led them to their chosen candidate for Pope, and certain things happen, and then you're like, it's it's not, oh, I feel cheated. It's like, ooh, how is that going to play out? Like, I want to
Mm.
know what happens next. So that was it. So it wasn't a twist in the traditional sense. It was just it was I guess a surprise is a good word. It was a surprise at the end. And then you were
Yeah,
like, wow.
that's good. So these aren't, we don't have to describe anything why you feel it, but I like that rapid fire this or that. So library or bookstore?
Oh, bookstores,
I
because then I
know.
get to keep them.
Yeah. Cozy mystery or fantasy adventure?
Oh, fantasy adventure.
Cat sidekick or human sidekick?
It depends on if the cat can talk. I grew up reading a series that had it's the Old Kingdom series, I guess. It was a trilogy when I first read it, but there's a cat sidekick who also happens to be like some ancient elemental being who may destroy the world, but he's like cotton cat form and he's very cat-like, like he has hairballs and things. So, but he talks like a human. So
Funny.
I think it depends. I think I'd be fine with both as long as they're entertaining characters.
Yeah. Demon problem or ghost problem?
Demon,
Small town secrets or big city drama?
small town secrets.
Serious and spooky or funny and whimsical?
Both depending on my mood.
Practical hero or chaotic hero?
I would say both, again, depending on my mood. I like a little chaos, but I
Yeah,
also like when someone knows what they're doing.
exactly. Solve it with logic or solve it with magic?
I like, well, because I'm fantasy and well, sci-fi driven too. I would say magic, but the magic needs to have really strong internal logic to get me to believe it. Like
Hmm,
you can't just wave your hand and fix it. There needs
right.
to be some internal logic to it.
Reading late at night or reading with tea in the afternoon?
Oh, I would love to read with tea in the afternoon, but I got to work. So, so
I would say
both.
both.
Yeah.
Yeah. Slow burn mystery or fast paced chaos?
Uh, it would depend on the genre. I think I'd like a little bit of both. If it's too slow, I
Hmm.
hate to admit it, but if
Yeah.
it's too slow, I don't have the patience for that.
Yeah, I agree. My last question is, what kind of character do you think causes the most trouble in the book that I read? The priest, the librarian, or the cat?
Oh, well, if the librarian starts sticking her nose into demonic possessions, I would say her.
Yeah, I think you're right. The priest comes second. The cat's in there, but I don't think causes too much trouble. It's trying to be helpful, but it's
He's
just
not really
weird.
helpful.
She doesn't know whether she wants to pet him anymore after he talks. It's kind of funny.
That's so cute.
It's really cute. I thought it was a cute read. Well, I think that's all we have for you today. We appreciate you hanging out with us. Thanks for being here and talking books with us.
And if you love stories and want to grow your TBR, hit that subscribe button and join the plot with us, and we'll see you in the next chapter. Bye, y'all.
Bye bye.